Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Mercato. Oh my goodness, this Mercato. It's not even officially kicked off yet. And yeah, I was thinking of taking a little bit of time off the channel, but something's popping off every day. So I have to come to you and update you on the latest Inter news today, man. We're going to talk about lots of stuff happened at Inter HQ, lots of agents visiting us, and obviously the ongoing transfer ongoings that we have at the moment. We'll keep you up to date to that. But yeah, before we get into it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So guys, let's get into the cover story that gassed all Inter fans today. Tullio Tinti is a man that I don't really like. I don't really like the way he speaks. This is Alessandro Bastoni's agent. He was at Inter HQ today, and when he was coming back out after his meeting with Marotta and the directors, they asked him, "Speak to us about Bastoni, bro. Tell us." And he could not be more clear. As you can see here, using sempreinter.com, who very kindly have translated the transcript from that quick interview outside Inter HQ, Alessandro Bastoni, he will definitely stay at Inter. He's happy here. I can confirm that's exactly what he said in Italian. As we know, guys, we've been making videos last few days. He's been heavily linked with Tottenham in the Premier League. They say that Conte has been calling him almost on a daily basis. Some reports in England were also even instigating that maybe he's even changing his mind and might be wanting to go. But we saw Bastoni had an interview the other day after the Italy game where he reiterated, he wants to continue at Inter. He's looking forward to pre-season at Inter. He's not heard anything from the club. He's got a contract. He's happy. But it was his agent a few days ago who put the doubt in our mind when he said, we're going to be professional. He's happy at Inter and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, oh, are they pushing him out of Inter? But here he's, saying Bastoni will definitely stay. He has a contract with the club. He's happy to play here. Then afterwards, they even asked him about a contract extension, where, he didn't really answer very clearly. It was just more like, I respect signed contract, but there's no problem if they call me, for new talks. So yeah, very good news for now. Anyway, as I said, transfer market, you never know, guys. You can never say never. You might be making fun of Spurs fans today, but tomorrow they might be making fun of you. But as we said from the beginning, I feel like, it just seems like Bastoni wants to stay. And then, social media, I don't really look too much into social media, signals that people always look into. Who is he following? What's he doing? But today, an Inter social media page posted, the news or the transcript of Bastoni's agent's words, and Bastoni commented underneath that with, the Inter colors underneath of the heart. So, I mean, that says to me that he wants to stay. However, guys, just because if Bastoni isn't going, it means that, as we said, someone else is the spotlight goes on someone else now. So let's see on who it goes. Of course, the other rumors coming out today, fresh rumors today about Milan Skriniar. I mean, out of all those players, the top four boys, Barella, Lautaro, Skriniar, Bastoni, they're all just as painfully as each other. But I don't know, maybe Skriniar will probably, I think Skriniar and Barella probably will hurt me the most, especially Skriniar, man, especially the way a few years ago, he fired his agent to sign a new contract. He's rejected every single offer out there. So the rumors are that PSG are interested in Milan Skriniar. As you can see here, once again, from sempreinter.com. The original article came out in France. I believe it was Le Parisien that talks about, they've got a new sporting director now, Luis Campos, who is very highly rated. He's done some good work over the last few years. And Leonardo's gone. Leonardo, the guy who used to raid Serie A every bloody summer, sick of him. But the thing with Leonardo was he would overpay for a lot of his targets, like we saw, with Icardi, and he paid us pretty handsomely for Hakimi as well. So it's kind of a win and lose situation. But apparently Campos has made Skriniar his number one target. But guys, I saw people worried straight away. When we talk about our players, we say that they're the best in their position. We say Skriniar is the best centre back in Serie A. of course, the top clubs are going to come sniffing. They're going to come for your players. I know, of course, it's worrying because of the situation that Inter are in. I admit that. But at the same time, knowing Skriniar, knowing how much he's wanted to stay here, I feel like, again, this one is one that I'm confident over. The only sticky point at the moment with Skriniar is the contract. Not that, I'm worried about his contract situation, but in general, he does have 1 year left. So that means, if someone does come calling, they don't really need a massive offer because he's only got 1 year. There's not much leverage for Inter there. But again, Skriniar's not going to push for a move, so it doesn't really matter too much. And there's already confirmed reports that Inter are going to look to renew Skriniar's contract, which they definitely need to do that. Priority number one, just like how, last season it was Brozovic, Lautaro, Barella, Skriniar, number one on that priority list. And of course, if Bastoni feels like, he wants a little bump up after this Premier League interest, give him that as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about Skriniar yet, but of course, let's see how the Mercato develops, how interested are PSG. So they were also linked with Bremer. Clearly, they're looking for a centre-back, and I wouldn't be surprised if actually they end up in the end with Koulibaly, because he could be on the way out of Napoli, because Napoli have offered him a lower salary than what he's on already. Like, he only earns around 6.5 million net, which is top player in Serie A, but compared to other players around the world, it's not that much at all, especially for Koulibaly's value and worth and experience. So yeah, that's one to keep an eye on. Let's see what happens with that. But calma for now on Skriniar front, and calma for now on the Bastoni front, luckily. Less calma if you are a Denzel Dumfries fan. I know there's a few of you out there on the channel. Shouts out to you all. Dumfries had a very, very good first season with us. No denying that. I think he's endeared himself to a lot of Inter fans with his, he plays with his heart, a lot of passion. You can see that he was a PSV captain as well. But as I said, guys, if you're not going to sell Bastoni, if you're not going to sell Skriniar, someone's going to have to leave. And according to reports here by Sport Mediaset, Inter probably, and this is what I would rather do as well: sell both Denzel Dumfries and Stefan de Vrij. Dumfries, we only bought him for around 14 million euros last season. Stefan de Vrij was a free transfer, and he's on his last year of his contract. So they could make a decent capital gain on both of these guys. With the ambitious financial targets, you guys saw the spreadsheet that we worked over last week. This is really going to be difficult to make that 60 million plus net transfer income without selling one of the big boys. But one of the ways of doing it is by selling more of these type of guys, obviously maximizing what you could get from Dumfries and de Vrij, especially Dumfries, who doesn't have an expiring contract, is relatively young still. And there's rumors of Man United sniffing around. You guys know, when Man United sniff around, you can always get a nice chunk of money from them. Ten Hag, another Dutchman, so maybe Dutch connection with him and Dumfries. Again, it's not really my ideal scenario either here, because I would like to keep Dumfries. I don't want to keep chopping and changing right wing back and full backs every season like we used to before. You got to choose one, guys. As I said, like, either you sacrifice every single Primavera player out there, you sacrifice either one of the big boys, or you go this way where you try to sacrifice not one of the big boys, but just still a starter, but not one of the key starters, and then try to reinvest maybe for half of that if you manage to sell Dumfries for 35, 40, which I think you could get definitely from Man United, and then another 10, 15, 20 from de Vrij, whatever you can get. You get 60 there, and then you plus some of the fringe players, Albert, Lautaro, some of the youth players, Pinamonti, trying to get to 100 million, so you get some money to spend as well. It's doable, but Auxilio and Marotta, as we know, have their work cut out, and let's see who comes in for these boys. Moving on, as I said to you guys, there was a lot of agents today coming on at Inter HQ today, going up the lift to meet the directors. As I said before, Tullio Tinti, the Bastoni's agent, but Tullio Tinti is also Simone Inzaghi's agent. They asked him as well, when they asked him about Bastoni, they asked him about Inzaghi's contract, which is pretty much a done deal. We've known almost since November, December, there have been pretty much confirmed reports that Inzaghi just wanted to wait to the end of the season, but Inter were ready to offer him a new contract quite midway through the season, bumping up his salary to around 5 million net. Shows faith going forward in the Inzaghi project. I like it. Ranocchia is another client of Tullio Tinti, and they asked him about Ranocchia as well, and he said, we're expecting Ranocchia to be one of the guys leaving as a free agent. As of now, his contract has expired at Inter, but he actually might expire at the end of June. But he said there could be a possibility of renewal. He said the possibility is always there, so you never know. Ranocchia, I wouldn't be against it because he is a cheap backup. I think he's only on around 1.5 or 2 million euros net. So and he's willing to reduce it even further to just extend his contract by a year if he doesn't get any nice offers. I saw Monza were linked with him. Maybe he's not really keen to be fighting for relegation. Now, one of the other really juicy entry into HQ today was Dybala's agent. Finally, there was a meeting, face-to-face meeting that the public know about anyway, as I've said to you guys before. From what I'm hearing, the sources I'm talking to, these guys are saying that this Dybala deal is a done deal. However, the reports coming out today were a little bit more ambiguous. Once again, using sempreinter.com, and here's Sky Sport Italia's article from Di Marzio, who says Inter have made an initial offer worth 6 million euros net per season, plus some significant add-ons. And I read another report earlier that said 5.5 million plus add-ons, but the player's expectation is around 8 million. So there's a little bit of work to be done there. So they're probably, as we've said from pretty much the reports that are coming out for a few weeks, that probably meet halfway, 7 million. That's where they're going to meet. Alexis Sanchez's wage pretty much. So we'll wait to see what happens there. Paulo Dybala, as we know, the fan base is split at the moment over the. Would you rather get Dybala, or would you rather bring Lukaku back, or would you rather have all three with both of them with Lautaro, create an amazing trio? Which I think is very unlikely given our financial situation. Definitely want to keep an eye on. I don't want to talk about the Dybala thing too much because until there's no actual proper movement on this, we keep repeating the same stuff. And talking about repeating the same stuff, Romelu Lukaku, we're pretty much repeating the same stuff. Di Marzio yesterday made a massive headline saying that Chelsea have opened up for a loan, but no, this is exactly what we've been discussing for ages now already. That the loan that they're open to, which Di Marzio mentioned, is the loan that I said that's not going to happen. They want around 23 million euros for the loan, because that's what Lukaku's amortized cost for the year on Chelsea's books is, around 20 million, amortized cost, wages, all that kind of stuff. So they want Inter to be able to cover that, on their books for that year, but it's not gonna happen. So there's a lot of room for negotiation there. I don't know how long this deal will take, to be honest. One of the rumors that also we discussed in the past weeks was that Inter could use Stefan de Vrij as a kind of a makeshift, or kind of like a swap deal. As you can see, Chelsea are on the lookout for some defenders. Rudiger's left. I think they are looking for some centre backs anyway. And yeah, de Vrij could be the chosen guy. Sport Media, again, not the greatest source, but de Vrij's value is around 20 million euros now. Because of his expiring contract, 15 to 20 million euros. So yeah, that shows you what we're talking about in terms of what they want, that 20 million loan fee. So maybe they could use de Vrij as kind of the counterpart to make that deal happen. But again, I don't really see this happening. I'm not sure how likely this is. But as we know, as I said to you guys, I think this Lukaku saga is going to go on for the whole summer. I think if it doesn't happen now, the Inter they're not going to sign on these terms of this expensive ass loan. But they might come back again, because I'm sure Lukaku's going to push for it right until the transfer window is open. And I think if Inter can sneak him into the budget, they will try right until the end. But for now, not much movement on the Lukaku front. And then another agent was at Inter HQ today. So many people coming in and out. So Andrea Cambiaso's agent came to Inter HQ. Cambiaso is one of the wing-back options Inter are looking at, alongside Bellanova, who of course we've been talking about last few days. And the interesting thing with this, because Bellanova isn't Cambiaso isn't a free agent. This guy is still owned by Genoa, and the fact that agent came to see Inter so openly, and then he openly talks about it, is like pointless to hide the fact that Inter are interested in him, but a long way to go before a deal is done. Yeah, that's really interesting, because the 22-year-old is an interesting profile. Similar to Bellanova in terms of, age. He's quite athletic, maybe not as quick as Bellanova, but he is two-footed, so he is much more of an adaptable profile. Although Bellanova has played on the left-hand side, but Cambiaso really seems to be just as comfortable on the left as the right, just like Perisic used to be. I would compare him more as like a Darmian type of player. He's a little bit more diligent and a bit more safe than Bellanova, I would say. But here are his words of his agent. He's a player that Inter like, as do many of the teams. The Juventus have been linked with him as well. It would be useless to hide that we talked about it, but there's still a long way to go, as we said. The purpose of his meeting said we talked about Cambiaso and also some other Argentine players who I represent. Inter and the Argentinian connection, man, is crazy. Agent said there are positive feelings. The road is still long, but we're starting to talk. So yeah, interesting to see what happens with the Cambiaso. Is he the plan B to Bellanova in case Bellanova doesn't work out? Because there's rumors that Cagliari, we know those bastards never do a favor for us, even though we do loads for them. Apparently they're asking for more than 10 million. We're trying to add Casadei into the deal as a loan, or other youth players as loans, which actually would be good, loaning them out to Serie B Cagliari. But let's see what happens with that. So Cambiaso could be the plan B if Bellanova doesn't work out at our terms. Or he could be, looking at Bellanova and Cambiaso both to bring in if we do end up selling Denzel Dumfries. So I want to hear your opinions on Cambiaso. Which one do you prefer, actually? I saw in the Bellanova video, a few of you guys said you prefer Cambiaso. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer Cambiaso or Bellanova? I slightly prefer Bellanova just because of his athletic and pace profile, but I wouldn't be angry if we end up signing Cambiaso. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier when I was speaking about Milan Skriniar, Skriniar got injured the other day. Oh my god, I almost had a heart attack. I saw the video, him stretching, and it looked like, well, it didn't really look like it, but then people started saying the word ACL. As soon as you heard that word ACL, Skriniar, I'm just like, no, please, God, no. I started praying to every single God I know. I was willing to change to any religion as long as he saved Skriniar. I was willing, like, football is crazy. Like, I'm willing to donate my knee cartilage if that's what Skriniar would have needed if he had it. But luckily, fingers crossed, touch any type of wood, but he hasn't. It looks like it's only a muscular injury, which will take him around 3 to 6 weeks to recover from, confirmed by the Slovakian medical team, because he had his injury for Slovakian national duty. And then Marotta the other day also confirmed that it's nothing too serious. So, sigh of relief there, man, because I was literally ready to cry. And then final news of the day, which is not really football related, but is, Lautaro related. Lautaro's wife has opened up a restaurant in Milan, in the Brera area. The restaurant is called Coraje. Is based on a concept of Mediterranean/Argentinian cuisine. And saw a video of Correa, Nicolas Tagliafico, the Ajax fullback, and Juan Musso, the Atalanta goalkeeper, Argentina gang, Azado gang, getting together, having a little dance. I think it was on the launch party. Yeah, looks pretty nice. And Lautaro opening up a business. I know it's his wife running it, but still investing in Milan, kind of shows that he really does like living in Milan, or is looking to kind of set his roots in Milan for the long term. So Lautaro boys, fanboys, I guess this is a good sign for you. So yeah, looking forward to maybe one day visiting that restaurant. I still haven't visited Zanetti's El Botinero. I still need to visit that, but definitely on the list next time I go to San Siro. And yeah, that was it. That was the last one of this busy transfer news special. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what your thoughts were on everything going on today. Bastoni's agent, I really want to hear what you think about Bastoni's agent. Do you feel like he's just saying what we want to hear just to calm us down, maybe just to get more money out of Spurs? Or do you believe that Bastoni's going to stay? Dybala, Cambiaso, Skriniar, PSG, are you worried? Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Leave a thumbs up anyway if you didn't even enjoy. But yeah, subscribe if you're new to the channel for regular Inter updates. Ciao ragazzi, always Forza Inter.